Good morning, everyone. I am the Aquarian Chancellor, and today I am here to record a daily dose of inspiration for you guys. So I hope, first of all, I hope everyone is doing well, is doing beautiful. Today is an absolutely beautiful day. The birds are chirping, what I'm saying, all that good stuff. I got my door open so I can, kind of get that nice gust of wind coming in, fresh air, whatever, what have you. So today is Wednesday, the 19th of April. And I'm shooting this video with somewhat of a little daily dose. I think I said that already, of inspiration for you guys. Now, yesterday I had uploaded a video about my very first time being fired as a teen mom and during my pregnancy, actually. And at the time I recorded it, I knew I wanted to share something. I just didn't know what. And because I am during my business is geared towards youth and young adults, I thought I'd share. I had that on my computer, and I was like, okay. At the time, I didn't know. I was like, okay, I need to share a story about myself and my journey, but I didn't. That story came up, and so I was like, well, okay, well, let me post this because it goes right into what I wanted to talk about today, which is attitude of altitude. Okay. In that little segment, that little story time, I told the story about how I was pretty much assaulted by a family um, when I was working in food service. That was my very first job because they thought that I had an attitude. Um, and like I said, the exchange had just was take it to another level really, really, really quickly. I had no idea what I said, but I said all that to say is I was just being myself, right? Which leads me to the title of today's video, Attitude of Altitude. Okay. Being yourself in any environment that you're in. Um, I'll say this first. For me, it's very important that you be yourself. Okay. There have been experiences where I have not been myself, and they have, in each and every one of those experiences, that it didn't work out with. Okay. So now I have adopted the attitude that if I cannot be myself in a work environment, in a friendship group, in a networking group, then that's not the environment for me. If your presence makes someone else uncomfortable, that's not the environment for you. If you have to change something about yourself, now don't get me wrong, we're not talking about constructive feedback where there's room for improvement. We all have room for improvement, right? But if it's something that you people want you to change about yourself to make them feel comfortable, then that's when you need to stand on your square to say, okay, maybe this is not the work environment for me. But let's take it back to the story. Um, I don't know what happened. I don't remember exactly what happened with the drinks and everything, but I knew she assumed that I had an attitude. For me, I am a person, I like to speak my mind. If I feel like I'm in a situation where I cannot speak my mind, now work environment, you have to do it respectfully, of course. But and I said this again in the feedback, constructive and deconstructive feedback. Um, that kind of chips away at your confidence, okay? So that you don't feel comfortable being yourself. You don't. And so, for me, speaking my mind and doing it in a way, of course, where I feel it's respectful. Sometimes people are not going to be receptive of it, and that's not the place for you. Okay, this was my first job as a teenager. And to see the journey from then to now, being myself, like not really changing who I was very much. And like I said, when I did, all of those circumstances didn't end well. So it's like, okay, that's the lesson that I learned along the way. Like, be yourself. Be yourself. If it's an environment where it's not healthy, or you have to compromise yourself, your values, to be around a group of people, a work environment, because there's some unhealthy work environments where people are doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Take note of that and remove yourself. Another thing that's what I was saying. To see myself, this is the where I want to say about the attitude of altitude. Take, like Michelle Obama said, take the high road. Take the high road. You remove yourself. You remove yourself. Never let someone get you out of too much out of your character. Um, I posted it again. Another reason why I posted it is that kind of like a reflection moment. How you start is not how you're going to end. Okay. It can be overwhelming, and for youth, especially when you're trying to find that perfect career. You're leaving high school or you're leaving college, and everybody expects for you to have everything figured out. Or you're a mom, okay, and you have a little mouth or a little mouth that depend on you, to provide for them. How you start is not how you're going to end. All of that depends on you. It depends on your attitude. Now, for me, I am I like to talk very, upfront, and sometimes that might not be a good thing, especially, when it comes to business, but that's who I am. Okay. But one thing I will say about my attitude also is that I'm a very optimistic person. A very optimistic person. So even though things may not have worked out for the best in that situation, I was fired, let go, and it was a whole scene. But at the end of the day, I was still able to overcome that situation. I might have been fired, but I did not let it stop me. I did not let it stop me. I continued on my career journey, and I progressed actually as I went along. So I say all that to say, because I want to wrap this up. This is, a little daily dose. Is continue to develop, if you don't have it, an attitude of optimism, or altitude, meaning thinking higher. Develop that. Develop that muscle. It's going to be the thing that is going to move you along on your journey. Sarah Jakes Roberts titled one of her presentations, or one of her sermons, I guess, when your triggers become your weapon. Okay. And I thought that was powerful. I was like, oh, yes. Because taking it back to that attitude, and, getting that feedback, like, quite a few times, like, okay, your attitude, your attitude. But guess what? It's my attitude that allows for me to be able to say, okay, this is not for me. I need to go, you know what I'm saying? I need to progress. I need to progress. Okay. And not let that get me down. Understanding that there's going to be doors that are going to be closed in your face. Understanding that there's going to be no's. Understanding that you're going to have people who are going to gaslight you or play games with you just because. Understanding that, sometimes you're going to have to leave people behind to meet new people. That's going to help you progress. But in all of that, you have to develop a positive attitude. Hey, this is part of the journey. This is what's required of me to move forward. And say, hey, look, this is not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Okay, this is just a temporary setback for what's that saying? A temporary comeback for a strong comeback, a temporary setback for a strong comeback, something like that. But that's just what I want to say. That's just what I want to say. Develop an attitude of altitude to take you higher on your career journey, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are stepping out into the workforce, you can do it. Okay? Be yourself. Be yourself. Okay? Not to say you cannot take constructive feedback, but never deviate from the core of who you are. Attitude, altitude. So I'm going to leave it here. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Like I said, I wanted to share that story because, like I said, it was my first time being fired, and you have to know that I was devastated, especially having, you know, um, being pregnant at the time. But guess what? It didn't stop me, and here I am, umpteen years later. I ain't gonna tell you, umpteen years later, and if that had not happened, I would not be where I am today. So with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And yeah, develop that attitude, excuse me, of altitude. Take care.